When you think of hemp, what is the first image that comes to mind? Is it lighting up a fat seedless joint? Or is it a hardy, natural, renewable resource which can benefit our way of life? The Marijuana Tax Act of 1937 is the beginning of constriction for the growth of marijuana in the United States. An extremely high tax was placed on marijuana, making it nearly impossible to grow hemp. However, Congress expected the production of industrial hemp to continue, but the Federal Bureau of Narcotics lumped industrial hemp together with marijuana as the same plant. They did this since so many people in the general public could not recognize the differences between marijuana and hemp. While more hemp is imported into the United States than any other country, the United States government does not consistently distinguish between marijuana and the non-psychoactive cannabis used for industrial and commercial purposes. You should know that marijuana and hemp are the same species, Cannabis sativa, but they are of different subspecies. The marijuana plant and hemp have some differences in physical appearance, as well as the concentration of tetrahydrocannabinol, also known as THC. These two plants also differ in their uses. Marijuana, which has a high level of THC, is used mainly as a medicinal and as a recreational drug. In contrast, hemp has a very low level of THC and a high level of fibers. Therefore, it is widely used in industrial and commercial products such as paper, construction, insulations, textiles, automotives, as well as many food products. The industrial use of hemp has a long history and has been used all over the world. The United States is currently the only developed country which still bans the growth of hemp. Only 16 states have passed pro-hemp legislation. Due to this fact, American farmers are unable to legally cultivate hemp. One of the reasons that industrial hemp is restricted is because the U.S. Office of National Drug Control Policy's concerns that the public at large would require legalization of marijuana if hemp were to be legalized. This is based largely on many people's misconceptions that marijuana and hemp are the same plant. It is important for many people in the United States to understand the differences between these two plants and what hemp can offer as a commercial product, as well as the benefits to the environment that we live in. In order to help you understand better the differences between marijuana and industrial hemp and the potential uses of industrial hemp, we'll talk about some of these following topics. We'll give a brief history of hemp. We'll discuss the two plants' physical characteristics as well as their THC concentration. The use of hemp fibers and seeds will also be covered, as well as the environmental impacts of industrialized hemp cultivation.
Hemp is one of the earliest domesticated plants known. Hemp's ecological uses date back to the Neolithic age in China, with hemp fiber imprints found on Yangshao culture pottery dating from the 5th century BC. The Chinese later used hemp to make clothing, shoes, rope, and an early form of paper. The world-leading producer of hemp is China, with smaller productions in Europe, Chile, and North Korea. In the U.S., Thomas Jefferson and George Washington recognized the commercial values of hemp, growing acres of it on their plantations. Marijuana and hemp are a variety of cannabis. Marijuana is a name that refers to the neurotic cannabis variety and is also called cannabis indica. Hemp refers primarily to cannabis sativa, L. These two species are not only different in their physical appearance, but they are also different in their THC concentration. The THC is the active, psychotropic ingredient found in the leaves and flower of the female plant, but not in her seeds or stem. Physical characteristics are also used to identify the differences between marijuana and hemp, which are high overall shape of the plant and the leaves and the stalk. The marijuana plant is generally short and about a meter high, has multiple branches with large leaves and a thick woody stalk. On the other hand, the hemp plant's typical height range from 1 to 5 meters depending on the variety. The stalk is more erect and has fewer branches, and its cross-section is usually hollow. Two cannabinoids are prominent in cannabis, THC and CBD, which is the anti-psychoactive ingredient. Marijuana is high in the THC and low in the CBD, whereas the reverse is true for hemp. When hemp is bred for its desirable industrial qualities, the percentage of THC is minimal, while the percentage of CBD is high. While marijuana has a potency range of 3 to 20% by dry weight of THC, industrial hemp is generally defined as having less than 1% THC, and the normal range is under 0.5%. The difference in characteristics lead to different purposes and use. Marijuana is mainly used as prescription recreational drugs, while hemp is widely used in industrial and commercial products including food and cosmetics.
In modern times, industrial hemps can be grown for fibers, seeds, or as a dual-purpose crop. There are specific varieties for seed and for fiber production. The fiber variety has minimal foliage and is usually grown in high density to encourage the height of the stalk, and therefore increase the length of the fiber in the bast. It is harvested before the seed matures, which is about 4 months. The seed variety is grown in low density to encourage the growth of the branches and greater seed development. They are often harvested about 6 weeks later than the fiber variety. The hemp stalk is hollow and it consists of 3 main layers. The outermost layer, the bark, the second layer is the bast fiber, and it contains a bundle of long fibers, and the woody and innermost layer is called the hurds. Both the bast fiber and the hurds can be processed for a variety of uses. The long fibers of hemp extracted from the bast have the most value because of their length, which is typically 5 to 40 millimeters long. The main advantage of using long fiber is that it provides strength and durability for the finished goods. Bast fibers have been used to make paper, ropes, fine woven cloth such as clothing, as well as the coarser woven cloth such as canvas. Hemp paper is stronger and lasts longer than wood pulp paper because of its low acidity, which does not turn yellow with age as high acid paper does. Because of this, it is used for specialty paper applications like paper money. Hemp paper can be made without using chlorine, a chemical used in many pulp paper mills with negative effects on the environment and human health. The secondary hemp fiber, called tow, is a shorter fiber. Tow is extracted from the long fibers during a process called hackling, a method of combining and separating the fibers from the hurds. The hurds, as you might remember, is the woody part of the stalk that produces a shorter fiber and cellulose. The short fiber can also be made into a lower grade of paper for general use like printing books, writing paper, grocery bags, and napkins. In addition, shorter fibers can be used in non-woven matting, plastic composites for automobiles, molded fiberboard products, animal bedding, and biodegradable matting used as ground cover to prevent soil erosion and suppress weeds from planting beds. Hemp is widely used in thermal insulation products for building and construction. These products are high in demand in European countries. Raw hemp hurds and short fibers can be coated with silica to make it moisture resistant, or mixed with cement and used as an insulation. According to hemp expert Mark Borey in 2003, the mixing of hemp hurds and cement is much lighter than regular cement. It's also fireproof, flexible enough to be earthquake resistant, and acts as a moisture barrier. The hemp cement material can be blown or poured into cavities of walls and in attics as insulation. The foundations, walls, floors, and ceilings of houses have been made using hemp hurds mixed with natural lime and water. This isn't the only way hemp has been applied to make our lives more comfortable. Hemp has been put to high standards to make one of the most commonly used materials in our society: plastic.
In recent years, the realization of depleting petrochemical reserves has set into motion development of bioplastics. Bioplastics are a sustainable resource and created from renewable plant matter using the starch and cellulose found in plants such as hemp. The idea of bioplastics began back in the mid-1900s. One of the most famous examples was in 1941 when Henry Ford built a Model T car with hemp plastic body panels. Henry Ford also made quite a statement when he said, "Why use up the forest, which were centuries in the making, and the mines which require ages to lay down, if we can get the equivalent of forest and mineral production in the annual growth of hemp fields?" He also drove home the idea when he struck that Model T car with a crowbar to prove the added strength of hemp plastic, known to be 10 times stronger than steel. While this was a great demonstration of bioplastics in practical use, the politicals surrounding hemp drastically slowed its progress. Currently, focus on environmental concerns, sustainability, depleting oil reserves, and renewable resources has brought with it a renewed focus into bioplastics. However, political red tape continues to bring down the progress in this field due to its affiliation to marijuana. Despite that, some companies, specifically in the automotive and aerospace industries, are still progressing with hemp plastics. Hemp bioplastics allow for components to be stronger, more resistant to damage, both physically and thermal, while being lighter and cheaper to produce. While not readily available to the average consumer in mass just yet, hemp plastics are slowly coming into the spotlight for consumers, from simple everyday items such as chairs and CDs, to dishware and plastic grocery bags.
Hemp seeds hold incredible nutritional and health values. Hemp seed oil contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein. The 2 major fatty acids in hemp oil are omega-6 and omega-3, with a ratio of 3:1 respectively. They are polyunsaturated fats, which are known to have a health benefit. The hemp oil is good for lowering cholesterol levels and strengthening the cardiovascular system. According to Carrie Leiser, in an article published in 2000, diets that contain the proper amount of omega-3 acids help to increase metabolic rate and promote the burning of fat, as well as have an anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and an anti-thrombic properties. In addition, tocopherols are also abundant in hemp oil. These include the alpha, gamma, and beta form of tocopherols. These are fat-soluble vitamins, which act as an antioxidant. It is believed that tocopherols have the potential to reduce cardiovascular disease. Because of its nutritional values, hemp seeds are widely used to make a variety of foods. Some of the products made from hemp seeds include hemp oil, salad dressing, non-dairy ice cream, snack bars, butter, flour, shampoo, lotion, beer, and just about anything you can imagine. It can even fuel your vehicle.
Efforts have been made to produce many different types of fuels throughout history. Hemp has been deemed by many as a feasible solution to our growing energy demands. Hemp can be produced into biodiesel. Hemp oil can compete with the petroleum industry in many areas, including cost, availability, and environmental footprint. Hemp oil is made through a process using the same technology that is used to make crude fossil fuels and coal. Nearly 97% of hemp oil can be converted into biodiesel. It has even been shown to have properties that may suggest hemp can be used at a lower temperature than other biodiesels currently on the market. However, hemp is currently illegal to grow in nearly all of the U.S. This means crops need to be grown in other parts of the world and imported. This drives the price of hemp oil up significantly. It was noted in 2001 that hemp biodiesel was at $40 a gallon. Another point to consider is how effective the fuel is. Biodiesel is the only alternative fuel that runs in any conventional unmodified diesel engine. The most common blend is a mix of 20% biodiesel to 80% petroleum diesel. Biodiesel is a proven fuel with over 30 million successful U.S. road miles and over 20 years of use in Europe. In 2001, a group of people who traveled around America in a car fueled by biodiesel made of hemp. Using a 1983 Mercedes-Benz turbo diesel wagon. The car was unmodified other than replacing some rubber hoses with synthetic hoses. The goal was to spread knowledge of the hemp throughout the United States as a feasible alternative energy.
The growing of hemp for industrial uses has a number of surprising ecological benefits. Among these is the crop's comparatively high yield per acre, leading to significant potential for greater land use. To add to this potential is its ability to be used in crop rotation. Growing industrial hemp requires little to no pesticides and very few herbicides, leading to less water pollution and less soil pollution. Some studies have suggested that growing hemp may actually lead to an increased biodiversity as well as hold potential for bioremediation efforts. With all of these benefits, industrial hemp stands to provide an immense array of environmental advantages. Considering hemp's high yield per acre, if grown for fiber, a farmer in the United States can expect, on average, 5 tons of dry stem per acre, according to a paper by Arensing in 1998. An important aspect that has just recently been considered is hemp's remarkable ability to extract heavy metals from the soil and atmosphere. A new and emerging science called bioremediation has found potential in hemp to collect and neutralize these harmful compounds. The science is new and not very thorough as of yet, but work by German scientists has recently shown that hemp can be used to clean up soil contaminated with poisonous copper.
Now you have been informed about the differences between marijuana and hemp and their uses. Marijuana for its medical purposes and hemp for its industrial purposes. Based on the information we have presented about industrial hemp, you can make a more informed decision about its usefulness for our country.